Hello, Seeking Sister Wives fans. It is Jenny. We're going to discuss episode number 5 today. Not a whole bunch happened. It was all right. It was okay. There was no jazz hands. Okay, we get it. This is not going to work. Let's go ahead and discuss. So, somebody's really hungry. We're going to go through this really quick, which is going to be easy to do because it kind of was a lull of an episode, I thought. All right, so we have the Perlotta family. This is the one with Danny and Yesel. Yesel. Not a fan of Yesel. I will say that this is the episode that also made me turn over and decide, yup, they're just doing this for the camera. And I don't know who in their right mind needs so much money that they're willing to make themselves look like the biggest a-hole on the planet, but that is Yesel. It opens up with him talking to Danny about the fact that the new chickadee, what's her name? Jackie. Yes, Jackie. They're talking about Jackie. And Danny's sharing how she found out that Jackie wants to have more children. This is the deal breaker, understandably. I mean, if you really want to be in a polygamous, really, you just want to have another friend. The whole concept of polygamy, I think, is that family structure where you have more kids. When I say understandably, understandably, nobody even wants somebody to sleep with their man, but they certainly don't want them to have a child because that's a lifelong commitment there. At any rate, we have Yesel saying, well, if her having a child is something that's going to hurt you, then that's something that we can't take back. So we have to really think about that. And she's like, yeah, no, think this is it. This was the deal breaker. This is what makes me think we just created that story for TV. And little Miss Jackie wants to be on TV as well. By the way, she looks nothing like her Instagram photos, just saying. But why they're even entertaining seeing this woman even one more time, I don't know. Let's move on to the next family. This is the Johnson family, which is Matt and Angelica, and their potential sister wife, 3 years potential sister wife. And no, she does not live in Brazil. 3 years ago, they started courting this gal that lives on the other side of town. And somehow the other side of town to them is the other side of the world. And because of that, Matt just simply can't pick up his phone and text her every day. It's just bizarre. But I think it's a real situation because it's been going on for 3 years. This is the most genuine, real one of the whole show. The Garrick and Danny, that's real too. Sad, but true. It is real. This one is real also. He goes on to explain that, he's had no contact from Shanae, so he's decided to move on and text other people. Angelica's like, excuse me. What do you mean you haven't heard back from him? He's like, I sent a text. She didn't respond. That's it. 3-year-long relationship. He sends one text apologizing, doesn't get a response, and says, all right, might as well throw out the baby with the bathwater. I'm not going to send a follow-up. He is the worst communicator. Derek is really bad. Cody Brown is really bad. These polygamous men, I don't get it. Why would they have anybody want to spend time with them and then share their man on top of it? It's not like they're smooth talkers or anything. They're weird. They're all weird. He is a silent weird, and he seems emotionally incapable of understanding how to move forward in any relationship. And he just happened to fall into a lovely situation with Angelica, whose self-esteem is below the basement floor and therefore is willing to stick it out with this guy. It's gross. He goes on to share with her, I've decided to reconnect with somebody who's been reaching out to me since Shanae hasn't been. Okay, again, I thought this whole polygamy thing was supposed to be the women drove it, so that it's not a gross men collecting women thing. But it appears that it is a gross men collecting women thing. Because he can't even convince her that it's her idea. He's just dragging her along for the ride, as opposed to Cody Brown, who convinced Mary it was her idea to bring Robin into the family, and then convinced the other wives that because Mary was on board that they should be too. Like, the manipulation was Cody at his A game getting Robin into the family. This guy, he's not even trying. He just doesn't speak. They go to meet a woman named Marilyn, who Matt has known for 17 or 18 years. Like he's known her for forever. And he dated her in the past. And Angelica said, I don't mind if we have to move on to another person, but I don't want it to be somebody he has a history with. They have stories together, they have memories together. At least she's putting her foot down somewhere. Kinda. Because she goes with him to meet this Marilyn, who's insane.
She's completely bonkers.
She's a witch. Mhm. She calls herself a witch. Everything, she's in this whole voodoo-ish, witchcrafty room in her house. I don't think she has any interest in Matt whatsoever. I think she found out he was on the show. I think she knows about the relationship that he's had with Shanae for the past 3 years. And she saw this as her opportunity to get in. I don't think she realized Shanae was on the outs. I think she thought, I'll be number 4 or something. At any rate, he goes over there. She has no interest in being part of a polygamous relationship, but she takes the opportunity to show off her little witchy stuff in her little store/house that she has. And I just want to say, run, Angelica, run! Don't let anything attach to you, and sage yourself and the outside of your house before you even walk in, and then sage the whole inside in case anything came along with you. While they're there, here's proof. Here's proof. You want proof? The whole thing is a setup scene. I'll tell you why. Now, Matt didn't know this, but Marilyn goes on to explain what her relationship with Matt was like back in the day. She said it was very sexually driven, of which Angelica doesn't even seem to blink. I mean, I don't know. I think Angelica's a freak in the sheets. She's like, yeah, I know. Maybe that's why she's agreeing to the sister wives thing too, because she's like, I just can't anymore. You need another outlet. I don't know. But Marilyn goes one step further as she's talking to Angelica and Matt at the table as they're making witchy bracelets or something. I don't remember. And she says not only was it a sexually driven relationship, but the sex with Matt was not really fulfilling. She said that on TV. Matt sat there. It's Matt, the man of no words, not few words, no words. He's like, Angelica starts laughing her ass off. She thinks it's hysterical. And she really likes the fact this big ego-driven doofus next to her is getting put in check. Miss Witch goes on to say, I mean, his sex was adequate. So in the talking head interview after that, of course, Matt's like, I'm not interested in her anymore. Yep. She just outed him.
He's really bad in bed.
Christine did the exact same thing about Cody. How is it that these guys also manage to perform so poorly, but have so many women? Again, they just get women who don't know any better, clearly. We're moving on to the Davis family. Yes. This is Nick, April, Jennifer, and Teresa, the new potential sister wife. They're all going out to dinner. When they go out to dinner, I noticed that, was it Jennifer or April? One of them was driving the car. I think April was driving the car. Why? Because Nick doesn't drive.
Of course he doesn't.
Nick can't drive. He's the one that stays home with the baby. Baby needs to see a doctor. He just does a virtual visit or something. Actually, Nick is so smart. He could solve whatever medical ailment the kid has all on his own. I mean, he's brilliant, right? According to April. She thinks he's the smartest guy in the whole world. It's disgusting. So they're all out to dinner and they're discussing their life. And then he's like, oh, yeah, the new word I learned today is entropy. And he goes on to define entropy and explain what it is. I just zoned out as soon as he started saying he was going to give us his new word of the day that he learned. Word of the day, another link between Cody Brown and the polygamists on this show. It is crazy. Bunch of incompetent, inept, insecure, inadequate men trying to use verbiage and language to pump themselves up and make themselves look more superior to their women. At least Nick and Cody are that way. It's like Cody Brown has traits of each one of these men, but in a different way. It's kind of crazy. We move on later in the episode and we have Nick alone with Teresa in their living room talking. And he again is explaining to her, like, I just can't get over the fact you've been my friend for 17 years. It's just really hard. I'm trying to emotionally get to the place of loving you like a lover. And I just really, love you like a friend. I don't know if I can do it. Mind you, he keeps taking her to the boom boom room. I'm more than happy to bang you and move you into my house with your kid. But I just wanted to know, I'm not feeling it. I guess it proves that he really does love Jennifer and April and even the old Danielle who ended up leaving. I guess that's something. He's not just collecting women, which it seems like almost all these men are, because there are so few women in the world who are willing to do this craziness. Insanity, quite frankly. Well, we go back and forth, and remember how I said I feel like this is just her opportunity to try to forward her career as a rapper? We go on in this episode for her to explain all the different rappers that she's rapped with. Never heard of any of them. Then again, rap is not my jam. It's not what I turn on when I want to relax at night. So then she starts spitting some bars. Is it great? No. Is it horrible? No. She got some rhythm to it. It's not horrible. It's just not good. She's not going to be a solo rap star. Izzy Azalea wannabe. But she's never going to get there. I think her hooking up with Nick might be her way of thinking, this might give me some street cred now. But Nick, he hates rap. He hates rap. And he came right out and told her he thinks her rap career is a joke and he doesn't support her continuing it. So this is just a hot mess express. There is nothing about this relationship that's going to work except for the fact that they're both willing to boink each other. That's it. Sadly, there's children involved. That's all I can say. Rapper girl Teresa said that the reason why she was pursuing Nick now is because she's always been in love with him from afar. And according to her, in your presence, I always felt more beautiful. That makes no sense. If there was a man that I was pining after and I would be around him and he would be rejecting me and never looking at me and never coming on to me and never flirting or anything, I would not feel more beautiful than I would on another day. I would feel pretty down on myself. Okay, he's not that into me. That's not a feeling of more beautiful. I'm not saying it's going to take my self-esteem away from me. I am all that and I know it. I'm just saying, the line makes no sense. How can you feel more beautiful after 17 years of hanging out with somebody who never looked at you twice? Moving on. Back to Danny and Yesel. They do end up going to a bar, and the reason they're going to the bar is because Leah is going to be there, which again is Yesel's first wife, the mother of, I don't know if it's his first wife. I don't know if he ever married her. It's the mother of one of Yesel's two boys that he had going into the marriage with Danny. So Leah is there to kind of get a beat on this girl and figure out where she is and feel her out. That's really it. I don't remember anything significant happening there, to be honest with you. And I have no notes. Nothing other than he also said that his friend Joelle was supposed to be there. I don't know who Joelle is, but all of a sudden like 5 more people walked into the bar. So like it turned into a party, but there really wasn't a strong get to know you session with her. So like, I don't know, that just kind of fizzled out. Unless my brain is failing me, which it could be. Our final family is Derek and Danielle, because sadly we have no jazz hands at all in this episode. But next episode we will, next week. Okay, so at the beginning, we have the girls continuing to talk about the room situation. We have a conversation between the 3 of them sitting down at the table, and they're trying to discuss, I kid you not, they are trying to discuss how often the women are going to alternate in bed with Garrick because the sheets have to keep getting changed. Vomit. So Danny wants to do every 3 days because she doesn't want to do that much laundry. And Lorena wants every 2 days because she's going to miss Mr. Garrick if she has to go 3 days without him. I mean, they all live in the same house and they see each other all the time, but no, apparently she's going to miss. So that's what they settle on. In the process of getting to that point, we see that at one point, Danny and Garrick are continuing a conversation between the two of them. And there's one of two things that are going on here. Okay, so as they're continuing their conversation, Lorena's sitting across the table looking at them, and she's looking distraught because she doesn't know what's going on because she doesn't speak a lick of English. It's so dumb. So I'm watching this and I'm suspect. This is where I say one of two things are going on. Either one, they're having this conversation and Danny completely aware of the fact Lorena has no idea what's going on. So she's sitting there talking with Garrick and she knows Lorena's not a part of this, but she has Garrick's undivided attention and he's not stopping to translate anything for Lorena. And I think Danny is a little bit into this. So she continues on with the conversation and doesn't pause for a second to even take a look over Lorena's way. That's the first scenario. Scenario number 2, the producer said, since there's this language barrier, I think it'd be really great if you guys have your conversation to discuss what you need to discuss. But at one point, can the two of you just start talking about something? And then Lorena gets left out. And they let Lorena know, you can look sad when you're left out when they start talking and not looking at you. And then send them something on your translator thing that says, I feel left out. That would be a really great scene, something we haven't done before. So, what do you think it is? I can't decide. I'm 50-50 on this one. What do you think it is? The only other thing that I didn't mention that was in this episode is that Garrick had his teenage boy assemble and put together a bicycle for Lorena, for his dad's mistress to ride, because apparently she rode bikes often when she was in Rio de Janeiro. I mean, it's such a crowded city. I'm sure that she probably never learned how to drive. So they probably took bicycles everywhere. So he got a bicycle for her, and then they went on a little mountain bike ride and then sat down and had kind of a picnic. They really just sat on a blanket and they were talking with each other, or they were talking to their phones and then letting each other read it, because in 3 years, Garrick hasn't learned more than about 5 words of Portuguese, proving to nobody that he's really interested in this. And if he were really smart, he would be learning Portuguese, because then whichever Portuguese woman, whichever flavor of the month happens to be in their house, he could be having conversations with and Danny wouldn't know what's going on. I don't think that's a great idea at all, but it's very Garrick-y, right? Why did Garrick not think of that? I'm so surprised. He's so dumb. He's dumber than his dumb. Such a simple man. Simple man. Just wants ass. That's it. All right, so that's the end of the recap from episode number 5. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back with episode 6 next week. You take care. Bye, everyone.